5 things I don't like about living in, let's be honest, 5 things I hate about living here in Czechia. I'm Katrina Zurich, an American living in České Budějovice, Czech Republic, and you're watching Checking with Katrina. I am in the city square of Budějovice. Right behind me is the famous Black Tower, which I use whenever I get lost in the city. If I can find my way, I just go to the Black Tower and then I can find my way from there. That after I posted this video, 10 things I love about living in the Czech Republic, I was asked by a viewer to make a video about what I hate about living in the Czech Republic. So, here goes. Number 1. The fact that my family lives in the USA. I love it here. It's a beautiful country to live in. It's got so many great things, but I miss my family so much. Back home, living in the States, between my husband and I are 4 children and 5 grandchildren, and the youngest one is only 11 months old, and we miss them like crazy. We miss all of them. I miss my parents, my friends. I miss hanging out with friends. The number 1 thing I hate about living in Czechia is that my family doesn't live here with me. Number 2, the food. Sorry, I know you Czechs are so proud of your food. People come here and they brag about the food and everybody says, oh, visit Czech Republic, you're just gonna love the food. The food is absolutely delicious. Okay, it is good if you're visiting and it's new to you, it's new food and it tastes really good and you can eat it for a week and then go home and be like, oh, that was so awesome being in Czechia, the food was so good and the restaurants are inexpensive and you can be all happy. However, living here, you just can't eat like this day in and day out. I mean, you're talking almost all the food is heavy, some kind of heavy meat with bread, some type of bread or potatoes, something heavy, meat, some kind of sauce with some kind of bread or potatoes. If it's bread dumplings or potato dumplings or boiled potatoes or just big giant loaf of bread set on your table. I mean, there's so much heavy food. And no vegetables. I'm telling you, one time I was in this restaurant and I wanted the chicken breast and it came with fried potatoes or boiled potatoes, I don't remember, but I just asked, I just said, look, can I just get it? Well, my husband translated because he didn't speak any English there, but I was like, can I just get it with vegetables? Can you just, I don't care any vegetables, just don't give me the potatoes. So my food came and I got a chicken breast with 2 slices, I'm talking your little circle slices of cucumber. 2 slices of cucumber. That was my vegetables. Seriously, like they had no vegetables in that restaurant to serve me. In Prague, when we go to Prague, you can get anything and everything. You can eat normal like you would in the States, whatever. But here in Budějovice, the food, going out to eat, going to people's houses, the way my mother-in-law cooks, I mean, all of it is heavy, heavy, heavy sauce, meat, and bread or potatoes. And I just don't eat like that. I pretty much follow the Mediterranean diet. You know, hummus and lots of salads and vegetables and chicken breasts and fish and lots of red wine. Which brings me to number 4. And I'm gonna make a lot of enemies over this one. The wine. I love wine. And Czech wine is not that good. The red especially, I'm a red wine drinker and the red wine is not very good at all. To get some good red wine, you're talking you're gonna have to spend like $25 a bottle. And let's face it, I drink wine every day. I can't afford to buy $25 bottles of wine for my wine intake. So I have to buy wine from like Chile or Italy, France. That's the wine I buy in the grocery stores here. But when you go to a restaurant, most of them don't carry it. Some restaurants will carry some Italian wine, but most of them carry Czech wine, Austrian wine, and it's really bland. Secondly, you go to a restaurant here and you ask them for their wine list and they don't have one. I mean, there's a couple of really fancy restaurants you'll go to and you can get a wine list. Otherwise, you say, can I see what kind of wine you have? And they say Červený nebo bílé, which is red or white, and I say Červený, red, and they say okay and start to walk away, and I'm wait, what kind? Yaki Červený vino, and they say czerwony. In other words, they have two types of wine in their restaurant, red and white, and you don't get a choice from there. That's it. So then I'll say, is it Modré Portugal or Frankovka? Which one is it? And it's usually one of those two, and then I end up getting white. I mean, if you're gonna drink bad, yucky wine, drink it white, because when it's cold, it goes down easier, right? So same with bad beer. The colder it is, it goes down better. So sorry if I offended you, but yes, the wine in this country is not good. There is some good wine. I'm gonna do a video someday about like maybe 4 Czech wines I can recommend or something. But honestly, to get those good Czech wine, you have to pay outrageous prices when you can get wine just as good from Italy or France or Chile for $5, $8 a bottle. Number 4. The language. It's awesome to listen to because it sounds so different, but to learn it is so difficult. Okay, if you don't believe me, then I will show you. There's international rating of the difficulty of languages, meaning how difficult it is to learn those languages. It's rated 1 through 5, 1 being the easiest to learn, and number 5 being the most difficult to learn. So like English, your romantic languages, English, Spanish, Italian, those are all number 1. They're the easiest languages out of all the languages in the entire world to learn. Czech is number 4. In other words, the only thing harder than Czech are like languages that don't have the regular alphabet, like languages that use symbols, like Chinese and Hebrew, and things that have those symbols make it harder to learn. So Czech is number 4. It's quite difficult. It's a difficult language. They've got like 7 different ways to change every word. So every word you learn, you have to learn it 7 different ways in order to speak properly. However, the one good thing about that is that Czechs are so understanding. They know their language is really hard, so I can speak Czech to them, and it's horrible Czech. The grammar is totally wrong and it's awful, but they can understand, and as long as they get what I'm trying to say, they're fine and they're really sweet about it, and they just appreciate that you're trying to learn their language. So I hate the fact that their language is so difficult, but I love the way the Czechs are about their difficult language. Number 5, the 5th thing I hate about living in Czechia is that I go without my luxuries. I'm talking about luxuries that I take for granted back in America and most Americans take for granted. For instance, a dryer. Most Czechs don't own a dryer. I know some do. They do sell them here, but most Czechs don't own them. Large refrigerators. All the refrigerators that I've seen here, most Czechs own small refrigerators. There's luxuries that I take for granted in the States that I don't have in my apartment here. Now, I know that I could maybe get them someday, but they're a lot more expensive and more difficult to get here than in the States. In the States, almost everybody has them unless you live in poverty, like really bad poverty, where you're starving for food, then you might not have a dryer. So I made a video about that, 5 materialistic things I miss about my home, and so you can click on here if you'd like to see that video. So there you have it, 5 things I hate about living in Czechia. Tak, příští den. Ciao! If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit that notification button.